from Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A true mountain boy. That is the headline tonight. A breathtaking ending to what rescuers feared would end in heartbreak. Here is the picture capturing the hearts of people across the nation. 22-month-old Kenneth Howard being packed out of the hills by rescuers alive. To say it is a happy ending is quite an understatement. We begin our breaking team coverage with WYMT's Justin Case live. He's near the area where they found him. Justin?
Steve, we keep hearing that word miracle thrown around a lot, and when you think about it, 3 days out in the woods in a densely wooded area, it is truly remarkable. Now, search crews are calling this a miracle, but it was this afternoon, just shortly after 2 o'clock, when search crews were up in this mountain over this shoulder. They actually heard some cries. Now, this is coming from an area close to where they were already searching. They made their way through the densely wooded area. It was up on a steep cliff about 50 feet up. Once they got there, they found Kenneth, and they found him alive. Now, the 22-month-old toddler, he was actually found less than a half mile from his home. He was then transported to an open area. There was an open field where they had to get him to so they could land the medical helicopter and actually get the medical helicopter there and transport him to a pediatric hospital. Now check out this video. This is actually shot from one of the officials out searching for Kenneth. He shot this on his cell phone. So this is moments after Kenneth was found and brought to the open area where the medical helicopter then transported him from the scene. But search crews actually searched very close to where the boy was found over the course of the several days he was missing. They're really not sure if the boy was moving around while he was missing, or maybe he was asleep while search crews searched very close to where he was. But one member of the search crew I talked with says he is close with the family, even knew Kenneth from before he went missing. He says the search for the missing 22-month-old toddler was personal for him, and he was just out here for basically all of the nearly 67 hours that Kenneth was missing.
He's tough, that little kid is, and I can't believe all the help. I don't know how we're going to thank everybody, but we've had people from everywhere. I really don't know where all they've come from, out of state and everywhere, to help us. Because their fire department, you know, we ain't got a lot of members, but when we call for help, we get it.
So, Steve, I mean, there were tons of tears shed today, but not the kind of tears you expect. Tears of joy and tears of happiness that this boy was found. It just took a real team effort to get together to find this boy. So many search crews. I mean, they estimate that there were more than 300 people out here searching over the past few days, and WYMT's Marianne Fletcher continues our team coverage.
An incredible rescue.
First thoughts of, oh, this is hard to believe.
22-month-old Kenneth Howard found safe. For all the rescuers, to call this a happy day would be an understatement.
Everybody's so happy, you know, just chills went all through your body, just excited.
The last time we talked with Tip Conley, the outlook did not look good. He feared the worst.
We're really worried about him, you know, and hope that we find him soon.
Officials found him more than 1,700 feet from his home.
You know, he spent 3 really cold nights up there. Our little kid's a tank. You know, I said, he's a tank. He's tough.
Tip got the chance to tell his friend, Kenneth's dad, his beautiful blue-eyed boy is safe.
He's so happy. You know, hard to describe. He just, I mean, he was in tears, you know, with happiness.
Now, Tip says since Kenneth's disappearance, he hasn't slept much.
And now I'm not going to sleep any night because I'm going to be so revved up, you know, so happy.
But tonight, they will all sleep a little better, knowing their hard work through the hills paid off.
It's unbelievable. It's certainly a miracle.
In Magoffin and Floyd County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Steve, now just moments ago, we actually talked with Kenneth Howard's family members, and we talked to them just moments ago, so take a listen to this, and we'll continue our coverage.
Disbelief for a while till they told me it was sure him and stuff, and I seen a picture of it, and I said, that's my boy. Tickled me to death. Best thing ever happened to me in my life.
It's been difficult, but I never did give up because I had faith. I had faith, and I know that God is with us because we wouldn't have found him.
So, Steve, we asked officials what's next because you look around here, it's an empty field, but it wasn't that long ago, just a couple hours ago. There were tons of vehicles, mobile command centers, ATVs. There were horses brought out today. This field was packed, but we asked Kentucky State Police what's next, and they say the investigation continues. They still want to learn how Kenneth ended up way up in the hills, way up on a densely wooded cliff about half a mile from his house. And they say that they're not sure if Kenneth can talk or communicate. They're going to let him get treatment at this pediatric hospital, and then they're going to try to communicate with him to see how all of this happened. But we're going to continue our coverage, and we'll also have more coming up tonight at 11. Steve?
What a day. Justin, thank you. One of the many teams who joined in on the search was the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team. We're told some of their team was in the group that found Kenneth. They put this picture on Facebook this afternoon, and in the post they said, "We are so happy to report the 22-month-old child has been found and is alive. Miracles still happen. Believe it." Well, let's recap all of this for you quickly. Kenneth went missing on Sunday, so it's going on 72 hours. They found him about a third of a mile from his home. He braved steep terrain and the cold temperatures. The 22-month-old does suffer from dehydration and is obviously a little hungry. But other than that, he seems pretty healthy. Now we wanted to know how he could have possibly survived so well out there. We talked to a local pediatrician this afternoon about what he might have gone through.
Those elements, it can put the body through frostbite, actually, especially if you're in water. This is amazing. This is really good.
Connor James is in our newsroom, and Connor, you sat down and talked much more in depth about what the boy went through with that doctor. What are the key takeaways?
Steve, doctors say what took place after the child was found seems to be just standard protocol, but when you think about it, the boy could have easily fallen off a cliffside, or if he would have been cut up severely, doctors say he could have suffered a serious infection, let alone the fact that he didn't have food or water these last couple of days.
Well, you just mentioned water. Most people can't go 3 days without it. How was this boy just dehydrated?
A miracle. So in talking with Dr. O'Rourke, she says kids can actually go a little longer without water than adults can due to how their bodies save water. All in all, Steve, this is just truly a miracle.
A miracle used by many people today. Thank you very much, Connor. Well, Paige Noel joins us now, and Paige, let's talk about the weather elements over the past few days, particularly this morning. It was pretty chilly out.
Yeah, this morning was actually the coldest conditions Kenneth probably went through. Let's go ahead and take a look at those temperatures. So we're about in those low to mid 40s earlier this morning, showing 45s up into Prestonsburg, Pikeville, and even into Jackson as well. But really, we can look at those temperatures actually in Paintsville. The Kentucky Mesonet actually has a site up there. So this morning, record temperature that what was recorded was 41 degrees, but Tuesday morning really wasn't much warmer. We're saying 44 degrees, and Monday was 50 degrees. So usually it's pretty chilly, even those highs getting up into the upper 50s Monday, upper 60s Wednesday, or Tuesday, and upper 60s into your Wednesday as well. So at least it got a little bit warmer, but usually those lows around this time of year are around 54 degrees. But the good news is that we weren't seeing those freezing temperatures. He didn't have to deal with frostbite, and over the last 48 hours haven't had to deal with any rain as well, and those winds overall calm. So this is a lot of just good news. The weather was not terrible over the past 3 days. We actually saw rain move in Sunday, but I think by the time he went missing, we saw most of that rain get out of here. But definitely this morning was the coolest conditions that poor little Kenneth had to deal with. But overall, it has just been a miracle here in the newsroom. Usually we don't get to report on this good of news. So it's just been a sigh of relief for everyone I know here in Eastern Kentucky and even here at WYMT.
Yeah, weather conditions certainly could have been a lot worse. Paige, thank you very much. In other news tonight, we are down to the wire with less than a week to go until Kentucky's primary election. For those running in the race for governor, there are only a few days left to sway voters. Minority Leader Rocky Adkins, Attorney General Andy Beshear, former State Auditor Adam Edelin, and Jeff Young all answered questions in the Kentucky debate this afternoon in Lexington. The four candidates talked about pensions, school safety, and paying for higher education. Garrett Weimer wraps up the debate.
A number of topics covered in the hour-long debate here. The economy, health care, but none bigger in this state right now, specifically for the next governor to face, than the issue of pensions. Rocky Adkins cited 2013 reforms as making headway on the problem.
Keep the reforms that we have in place. Any modifications or adjustments made need to be made with bipartisan support, stakeholders at the table.
Andy Beshear listed expanded gaming, medical marijuana, closing corporate tax loopholes, and stopping some tax incentives as ways to create new revenue for pensions.
A pension is a promise, and I was raised that when you make a promise, you keep that promise. And folks, I'm the only candidate in this race that will actually give you specifics.
Adam Edlin said he'll make sure the pension system is run for the benefit of those getting them.
The issue is that teachers paid their 13% every month in, and they were failed by a Frankfurt budget process that failed to do it the same.
Jeff Young called for raising taxes on the rich to fund pensions.
What we really have is a political problem. It has to be funded.
They also talked about the need to invest more money in public higher education, although there were some differences in how they plan to pay for that. On UK's campus, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Now you can watch the entire debate coming up tonight at 7 here on WYMT. Today in Harlan County, a man learned how long he will spend in prison for killing a woman. A judge sentenced George Rigney to 7 years. However, he will receive credit for time served. In 2013, he killed Jennifer Goddard. Police found her in her home. Country Music Highway 23, commonly known as CMH 23, filmed Eastern Kentucky talent today at the Forum in Hazard. Crews broke out their cameras, capturing footage of what they call rich talent found in the mountains. Their goal is to discover artists and give them a platform to share their music, much like this network reaching nearly 18 million households. Prestonsburg Mayor Les Stapleton says working with a nonprofit to bring this regional concept to life was simply a no-brainer.
We're working with TCN and trying to set up our own TV channel. Then we have a website, cmx23.com, which drives tourists to the area.
We have season 2, which we actually taped last fall, is beginning to air on the 20th. And then this will roll out probably later in the summer.
The Country Network crew will be in Eastern Kentucky until Saturday, taping in Hazard, Prestonsburg, and Paintsville. For those interested in watching at home, you can check your local cable listings. An iconic hoagie shop will be closing its doors in Cumberland. The owner of Charlotte's Hoagie Shop in Harlan County says after 26 years of business, it's time for her to slow down. The store has been a staple of the Cumberland community for years. WYMT's Connor James sits down with her and reflects on the restaurant's legacy tomorrow at 6 here on WYMT.
And that warming trend does continue over the next few days with a few rain chances mixed in there, and that it goes into your weekend. Overall, not looking terrible. We'll have that full forecast coming up for you guys in just a few short minutes.
And after the break, here how a medical clinic and school district are teaming up to make health care more available for students and teachers.